little nervous, Fresh Baked. I'm a little nervous about this show today. And I've said that before, but we're doing a State of Disney today and just getting here. It's a Monday. It's a Columbus Day. It's a Monday, Columbus Day. And I just, what I saw this morning is something that I haven't seen. I arrived at the park at about 10:30. We're actually working on 2 videos today. Arrived at the park at about 10:30. More people here than I was expecting or have become used to, I should say. Yeah, I'm worried that this is going to be a spectacularly busy day today. And I think that's probably what we're going to be focusing on today as we make our way through the park on this monthly State of Disney report. The crowds are growing, things are becoming more consistently busy, particularly on the weekends versus the weekdays versus the weekends. However, I was here on Saturday, and I should say, and it was quite busy on Saturday. But this Monday feels particularly robust. Those crowds that you saw there at 10:30 in the morning is above the norm post reopening. Now, I can't say that that's how, we're getting closer to how it used to be. So as is our custom, we're going to walk down Main Street and then into each and every land. We're going to check in on every attraction to find out what the State of Disneyland is. And we're going to go into some of the major news stories that are happening around each of these lands or each of these attractions, what's going on in the park. There's the January 8th situation, which is still a thing. By the way, January 8th is still a thing. But we're going to give you guys our impressions, our views of how the park is right now. And like I said in the opening here, it's different than it was. It is different than it was, and I think it's for good. I think this is the way it's going to be. But let's get into it. Just feeling this right now, like we did earlier today. Just feeling this right now. It's pretty busy. This is pretty busy. It is now, I think 11. Oh, it's almost noon now. It's 20 minutes to 12. Hasn't really got time. Man, time is flying. Actually, let's talk about that calendar for a minute, reservation calendar, because that's going to be a key factor in determining why the crowds are here right now.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
In just a few minutes, we invite you to join the Disneyland Band, Mickey Mouse and Friends, for the happiest march-along on Earth.
All right, that sounds like fun.
As we march from Sleeping Beauty Castle to Town Square. Meet us at the castle for the happiest march-along on Earth, beginning in just a few minutes.
We might have to miss that, because in a few minutes we're probably going to be in Adventureland. The calendar is wide open. But the Magic Key calendar for Dream Keys, wide open. There's like a couple of dates, I think. I saw one in October, I think, and one in November. And then obviously December is half, the last week is blocked out. But I mean, it's pretty easy to get into the park. It's pretty easy to get a reservation right now as a Magic Key. And personally, I feel like that goes a long way to explaining why the parks are more full. Even though they're not selling any new keys, the existing keys are having an easier time of getting into the park. That's a huge factor. It's just simpler to get in. But with respect to measuring crowds, look, this is pretty cool. Normally, this goes a long way. Normally, the crowd waiting for the show, the march along down Main Street, is nothing like this. You can walk through here pretty easily at this point in time. But now I have to get all the way up onto the curb in order to get around this crowd. Well, before we even get into Adventureland, here's a little something for you. They have put a switchback. You've got 50 people in line here, which I think is for the Zero light up bucket, I think. But again, for noonish on a Monday, 50 people, a switchback needed for a popcorn bucket. That's a busy day. All right, let's get into Adventureland. One of these days, I'm gonna have to, because I do enough of these now, or I will soon have done enough of these, where I could do some legitimate, side-by-side comparisons. But I always do these State of Disneyland reviews in the same order, and this is as dense as I recall it ever being on any other State of Disneyland report. My goodness. Okay, Last time we were here, if I recall, Jungle Cruise was at 40 minutes. You can see they're using that extended portion out there for Jungle Cruise. Huh. Not just the upper deck, but the extended part of the upper deck, which they hardly ever do. That is very, very rare. To the point where I wouldn't even include it in it. Oh my goodness. I couldn't even finish my statement. I wouldn't even include it in a recon because it happens so rarely. Mondays, man. Yeah, upper deck is full up there, and so is the rear upper deck. And the posted wait time says 60 minutes, which you never see. You never see 60 for the Jungle Cruise. It's a self-regulating queue. At a certain point, guests just give up and they say, I'm not getting in that queue. And it starts to, it's very elastic in that way. The wait time goes down and then it starts to get more reasonable and then they fill it back up again. Maybe part of the reason is that Indiana Jones is closed. Add that to the list of things that are bad. Indiana Jones, that's one of the other things we're going to be paying attention to actually today. A major story recently is on October 2nd, which is now 8 days ago, Disney instituted or began enforcing a new attendance policy with the idea that they were going to be more strict on, get our cast members calling out. That it was going to, they were going to make it harder for cast members to call out before. I guess that was easy. I don't know. What we're wondering is if it would impact, for better or worse, ride performance. If it would cause. Hey guys, how are you?
Just watching the other day.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, have a great day. Would it be a positive effect? Meaning they would, because fewer casts that are here to repair the rides, the longer it takes for them to go down, the more likely they are to go down. Having more cast available, getting cast here, would that improve the efficiency of the attraction? Or would they be losing more cast because they're fed up with, being treated poorly by management and they don't come to work? I'm going to lean towards the former, hopefully, but this is not a good start. Indiana Jones being closed at noon on a Monday. By the way, notice there's a lot of loitering. This is something you see a lot at Rise of the Resistance. People loiter around attractions like this, waiting for things to happen again. You've got a whole queue of people right here. Hi, how are you? These folks, I'm assuming these are Lightning Lane guests. Although I wouldn't recommend that. I don't recommend Lightning Lane for Indiana Jones. So it could be standby, but in either case, a lot of loitering happening right now at Indiana Jones.
Where's Pete?
Hey, how are you? Hi, guys. Moving right along. So far, I see a switchback on the hill or on the bridge for Pirates. I'm if Indiana Jones is down and Haunted Mansion is probably, a forever wait. Hey, thanks, guys. How are you? Thanks. Then the spillover from Haunted Mansion and Indiana Jones would affect Pirates greatly, so I'm expecting a long wait here. I mean, it's holy crap. I can't breathe. Posted, oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm not going to try to get in there. The posted wait time is 65 minutes for Pirates of the Caribbean, which again is unheard of. You hardly ever. It's a self-regulating queue. Oh boy. Okay, let's see how accurate that is, because so far I do only see the switchback over the bridge. I don't see it extended. Why would they call it 65 if all it is the bridge? I mean, are they running fewer boats maybe? Yeah, they're not out here. So that's probably not accurate. That 65 is probably, I don't know what that is. I don't know why they're doing that. But that's intentional. That's intentional because it's very obvious. It doesn't get to 65 unless they fill up all this out here. And that is simply not the case. So I'm guessing that queue out there is probably 30 or 40 minutes. Does it feel less congested to you post remodel of all this New Orleans Square space? It did initially, but I'm not sure. I guess it does, yeah, because this isn't too bad right here. Oh boy. Okay. A lot of standing. Okay, I should say that's not a good sign. Do you see the guests there just kind of posted, leaning up against the rail like that? They're sitting on the rails. That means that the standby queue is very slow going. It's not going quick though. It's a stoic, stuck queue, which means Lightning Lane is very popular, which makes sense, you know, it being Haunted Mansion Holiday. We're in the middle, the thick of the Halloween season. Posted wait, I see 2 zeros. Okay, I can see 2 zeros. That's not a good sign. Holy crap. Let me show you what I mean. I can only see the 2 zeros, which could mean only one thing, that we're triple digits, right? Because it's certainly not a 0 wait time. Excuse me, guys. But look at that. For show, it says 100. I have to stop and take a picture of that. Just a little glimpse of the queue for Haunted Mansion Holiday. It is, I don't even know where I guess that's the end of the line right there. That's the back. All the way around the fountain. There's a switchback on the train side where it normally is no guests at all. And they've got a second switchback. Normally there's just the one along the fence. Normally it's 2 lanes, now it's 4. And this isn't even as bad as it could get. It is still just 12:15. This could get considerably worse. You might be asking, how is Lightning Lane return time? And that's shocking, 2:45. That's just 2 hours from now. I was expecting 7 or 8 hours. Boy, this is going to be an interesting conversation when we start looking at the rest of the tip board and how Genie Plus is doing, which is part of our usual State of Disneyland update. I was expecting, here, look it, there's nobody in the Lightning Lane return queue right here. This is it. No, this traditionally, you know, since the season started, you would see this go all the way back. Hey, David. Hey, how are you? You would see this go all the way back to Splash Mountain. And there's nobody. So those are just, they are, okay. I'm so baffled because I felt like people were more willing. They were seemingly more willing to buy Genie Plus lately on these super busy days. And it is a holiday today too. It's Columbus Day. And look at that. There's no Lightning Lane check-in queue, and it's just a 2-hour wait to get to yours. And if it's like that for Haunted Mansion, then it's likely that it's like that for the other Lightning Lane attractions. Splash Mountain. I got it this time. Last time I forgot to look. 75 minutes standby. Wow. I'm glad to see it's at least open because this ride has been having a lot of hard times recently. It's been closing frequently. Splash has. So I don't have to put this on my list of broken attractions as I make my way around the park. But this bridge, this little path is very, very dense, very crowded right now. It's slow going getting through here. Now I'm curious what the return time is for Splash here. Normally this is a 3 or a 4 hour return time in the middle, you know, during the hotter days, which it's still pretty warm out. It's about, I think it might hit 80. I'm not even sure if it will hit 80, but it's still warm enough to go on Splash Mountain. Oh my gosh. How many times am I going to say that today, I wonder? And there you go, Splash Mountain return time of 4:20. That's about 4 hours from now. So that is more popular today than Haunted Mansion is, which makes me wonder have people got their rides in? Are they done with the Haunted Mansion holiday? Is the thrill over? I mean, not exactly over because it is still more than an hour and a half wait to ride it, but it's standby. I'm having a hard time processing that a little bit. I didn't look at the Winnie the Pooh wait time, but just judging by this right here, the actual wait time is probably 25 minutes for Winnie the Pooh. Man, there are a lot of people here. So looking at the Magic Key calendar, obviously Inspire is open and there are reservations available. This is open also for Believe Key. They are not blocked out today on this October 10th. And the Enchant Key is also not blocked out. They are eligible and there are reservations available for the Enchant Key. Only the Imagine Key is blocked out today, which this is one of those days where you might see a peak crowd. One of the reasons why you see it busier on a Monday than on a weekend, because there are more Magic Keys eligible to come to the park. Hi, how are you? You know, as a matter of fact, I want to take a look at the tip board right now to see what's happening around the park. I got a frozen lemonade for one of my favorite little outdoor vending carts. It's the cutest thing. But I'm having this frozen lemonade also as part of our other video that we're working on today, and that is a corn dog challenge. We're taste testing all the corn dogs to find out if they are different. If they are different, how different are they, and why would that be? So stay tuned for that if I haven't already aired it. But we're gonna, oh my God, are we even gonna be able to find a place to sit down and eat this? Alice in Wonderland 40, Astral Orbiter 40, Autopia, this looks very familiar. Autopia is just an hour from now, 25 minutes. Big Thunder 55, not quite 3 hours from, that's a long wait for Big Thunder compared to what we're seeing at other attractions. Buzz Lightyear 30 and 225, that's about an hour and a half from now. Casey Jr., Dumbo, standard, Nemo, standard. Haunted Mansion, we just walked by, it was 100, now it says 80, and okay, now I'm confused. Did we happen to catch one of those things where somebody canceled a reservation perhaps? Because now it's showing 7:30, that's what I was expecting. We just saw this, we checked that, it was not even 20 minutes ago that we checked, so it's possible that we got lucky there. Somebody canceled and opened up one little window. But now it's back to normal. 7:30 is the return time. Indiana Jones is back open. Standby says 20. If you see that right now and you say, oh my God, we need to get to Indiana Jones, you're already too late. It is not 20 minutes. It says it is here, but by the time you get there, everybody will have filled it up. Matter of fact, it's probably already the case now with a return time of 5 hours. This is more like what I was expecting. Small World 45. That's actually high compared to what we've seen in the past. That's a long wait for Small World. But that's interesting. The return time for Lightning Lane is now. Jungle Cruise is at 50, which is slightly shorter than the 60 we saw before. Mad Tea Party, 20 minutes. Winnie the Pooh, 25, accurate. Smuggler's Run. People are opting for standby more than they are Lightning Lane, although it's still over 2 hours. Toads is 30. We're going to check in on Fantasyland here in a little bit. Galaxy's Edge for that matter too. Peter Pan 55 standard, Pinocchio 30 standard. Pirates is down to 40. We saw 65 earlier. That line is still not even 40, so that might go down further. Snow White is 40. Space, an hour and a half with a return time of 5:25. I mean that's just regular busy, I guess. Splash Mountain, I was expecting a longer standby wait time. Star Tours, okay, go figure that. Go figure that. 60 minutes and a return time of 2 hours, a little less than 2 hours. Rise, Lightning Lane is closed, standby 95. We'll check in on that in a minute. Storybook Land, standard. So that's it. You know what? I do want to check actually before we go. We didn't do this last time, but I want to check DCA because I heard a horror story of Radiator Springs Racers. So, Golden Zephyr, 15. Goofy, oh my God. Can you imagine waiting an hour at Goofy Sky School? But only 50 at Grizzly River Run. That's shocking. Guardian 70, no more Lightning Lane. That's sold out, I would guess. Oh yeah, it has to be sold out because it's a... Or is it? Yeah, because the times are gone. By the time the return time right now is 5:15, it's no longer Mission Breakout. It is now Monsters After Dark. So, not sold out. Never be afraid of Incredicoaster. It is that's one of the slickest attractions at DCA in terms of wait time. You can always do standby, and the return time is hardly ever anything. That could be single rider doing some magic there. Matter of fact, I'm almost sure that's what that is. Okay, Little Mermaid, 45 for Little Mermaid. We might have to go to DCA today. Mater's 35. Monsters is closed. Okay. There it is. Radiator Springs Racers is 2.5 hour standby, which is sick. That is really, really sick. But compare that to a Lightning Lane of 3:30. I don't understand. If Haunted Mansion is 100 minutes, but the return time for Lightning Lane is 7 hours from now, why is Radiator Springs only 3? I can't figure that. Because if you're already paying for Light Genie Plus, and clearly they are, if you're seeing return times of 5 hours, or 4 or 5 hours for Indiana Jones, 7 hours for Haunted Mansion, 4 hours for Space Mountain. If you're already in for that, then why aren't you in for Radiator Springs? The return time for Soarin' is even worse. I don't understand. 4:25 for Soarin'. And a 70-minute return time, or standby. Okay, by the way, let's add this to our list. Toy Story is closed, and so is Monsters. And I didn't see any other attractions closed at Disneyland, so it's about par. I'd say this is about par in terms of breakdowns on a day. Quick update or sidetrack here. I had the occasion to come back to Norton Square, and where we saw an empty extended queue for Pirates, it is now perfectly full of guests ready to, hey, how are you? Ready to go on Pirates, ready to wait whatever the posted wait time is. I would imagine that's an actual 65-minute standby. But we'll just drive by real quick and see how that looks. It's funny though, as I talk about this, that it's just, that's how fluid the situation can be at Disneyland. You know, I can walk around the park and observe things and say, okay, this is how it is, but it's not really how it is. Not by a long shot. Posted wait, and it says 50. So what I'm saying, it's like, it's just lies. There's just lies all over the park. This is 50, whereas the other one was 65. They can't keep up. They can't keep up with the fluidity of the situation. They can't keep up with the elasticity of attractions that are non-Lightning Lane. These lines, grow and shrink quickly. Well, we took about 10 or 15 minutes off to, well, more than that, maybe half an hour off to go back to our corn dog video, and things have not improved. I come back to Galaxy's Edge, things have not improved, man. Well, you know what? We'll see. We'll see when we get into the rides business. When you checked last, it was at like 85 minutes, I think. I can already tell this is not going to go well. I got a quick peek. That's the back of the queue right there. It's escaped even the extended queue. It's escaped even that. Oh my golly. Oh my gosh. The back of the queue is outside they have built more queue. That's the back. That's the normal back. Let's walk up there. Oh my gosh. They have to have a couple cast members out here to monitor this. This is the usual back of the queue. They had to open it up right here in order to fit more guests in here. Heavens to Betsy. I mean, do we even need to finish this show today? Wow. We'll zip through, because that's what we do. But I feel like I've seen enough. Who's that guy on Twitter? I've seen enough. I feel like that guy. And they are just kind of standing around. It's very stagnant looking. I don't see a lot of movement in that queue. So I'm gonna guess it's at least, I'm gonna say 100. I'm gonna say 100. Let's find out. You won't be able to see it because it gets, the frame rate is all screwy. 105. Board says 105. And look at this, there's even a little bit of a queue for Lightning Lane out here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's your Lightning Lane. They're kind of collecting here a little bit. And then, I mean, this is just stay away, you guys. This is nothing more than stay away. You've got a collection of guests here in the Lightning Lane queue, and you've got a whole mess of people on the standby. Why would you even want to stay out of Galaxy's Edge, man? At this point, just don't even just turn around and walk away. Go find something else to do. I can't imagine seeing that and saying I want to do that now. There's got to be a better opportunity to ride Rise of Resistance than right now. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. This, by the way, if I were to do a comparison, you know, like a before and after type situation, you would definitely see a difference in the number of guests that we're crossing paths with. This is far more dense than it typically is. This is about how it normally is right here. This is fairly typical. Looking forward to going through the marketplace. You know, it wasn't that long ago we walked through here and it was empty. And not at like 9 or 10 in the morning either. It was the middle of the day. Cruise down to Smuggler's Run, where I'm expecting 75 minutes standby, I think. It's not 75 minutes. It's 90. It's 90 minutes. As a matter of fact, this is the queue. Oh my gosh, that's Lightning Lane right here. Pretty sure that's Lightning Lane. When's the last time when have you ever seen that? Except when the land first opened, when have you ever seen either the standby queue or the Lightning Lane queue come out this far? Oh my God, it's not just this far, it's further. This is the back of the line over here. Let me make sure this is this Lightning Lane? Got it.
We're hurt.
I could see that, man. I feel sorry for you. May the force be with you.
Watch out behind you.
I just got told to be careful. Thank you very much for that, because I almost walked right in front of a photograph. Okay. I was doing that because I wanted to come say hi to Chewie. While we're here, Chewie and Ray are taking pictures. I don't know where Ray went, but there's Chewie. Oh, I want to hug Chewie's leg. He might be one of the best walk-around characters ever. Bye, Chewie. Okay, yeah, I came in here also to give you another. You know what? Hold on, I gotta send this to the Twitters. All the way to Neogas almost. And that's Lightning Lane. So if you're getting into the standby queue, you've got to compete with that. And look at this. That's the standby queue right there. So it's it's just like we saw at Rise of Resistance just a minute ago. There's no bargains anywhere. Wow. It's almost like, well, I mean, it's not nearly as bad as WDW, but we're getting closer to Walt Disney World. My goodness. I guess the story's not written yet, you know what I mean? Like, here I was just ready to call it, but that's not even enough to say that it's busy. This is excessive. I've got to escape from Batu. Woo. Let's take this thing into Fantasyland next. where I expect things to look fairly standard, actually. I'm not expecting it to be excessive like we just saw here at Galaxy's Edge or even at New Orleans Square with Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion. I'm expecting Fantasyland to be what it almost always is. Oh, I love to hear that sound. That's the sound of Big Thunder. Okay. All right. Not too bad so far. I've seen worse. Oh boy. Certainly full at Red Rose Tavern. Good luck finding a table in there. Good luck finding a table anywhere, by the way. I've sat down twice today to eat, both corn dogs. Had a difficult time finding a table at the Jolly Holiday at 11 a.m., which is not typical. And then I was lucky to get the table I got at State Store Cafe just a bit ago when having my second corn dog of the day. Yeah, so far this is about standard, I would say. Pretty normal right now. We're gonna loop around. We've been seeing pretty long waits for Pinocchio as of late. And yeah, it looks about the same here. There's a switch back out here in front. All in, that's 30 minutes. It's gonna say it's more on the app. The app is gonna say it's 40 probably, but that's 30. Oh no, well there's more actually. There's a switch back out here. That's okay. So that is longer even for the long waits at Pinocchio. The reason why I stuttered just now is because I just got, is Snow White down? Why is Snow White not bazonkers right now? It has to be closed. No, it's open. Huh. That is very perplexing. I don't understand what's happening. Everybody who would... We were here just the other day on Saturday, and the standby was out here. They were filling all this up. This is kind of an anomaly. It's an outlier. It hasn't. You know, we're seeing the normal effects here at Peter Pan. That is the full Monty here at Peter Pan. That's probably an hour. But Fantasyland, yeah, I mean, in terms of, you know, the density and how the crowd feels, this is about normal. It's almost always like this. So I don't feel like, but that's typical. That's to be expected. Fantasyland doesn't get affected to a large degree by the big crowds because as a land, it's self-regulating. You know, how I say that a lot with individual attractions. You know, there's a limit to how much people are going to wait for a given thing. Fantasyland is full of attractions like that. So I mean, that's standard. That queue is standard. They built a little bit extra out here. Normally they don't have these ropes. Normally these ropes aren't here. Normally the queue ends where the wrought iron fence is. It doesn't usually get beyond that, but they've got a little bit, you know, they built in some cushion. But it's still about normal. That's just, you know, just in case of emergency. You know what I mean? Now, whenever I come to Fantasyland, when I'm doing one of these, when I come to Fantasyland, this is often my favorite part of the journey, to quote the Disneyland Railroad, walking by the Mad Tea Party. It's about three, I'm going to say that's 3 rotations that we're seeing in this queue right here. Monorail. But that's about 3 rotations, I would say. You have to wait, you know, 3 times for the cups to load and unload, which is high. Normally it's only 2, often just 1. But I've seen worse. But what? It's Fantasyland, man. Okay, on a busy day, I would expect this queue to be out here. This is so weird. They're ready. They're ready for overflow. but they're not getting it. This is a standard 30-minute wait for Storybook Land. Everybody is doing other things besides Fantasyland. The crowd has made a choice, and this is similar to what we observed last month, where the crowd had made the choice to buy Genie Plus, but to not buy Lightning Lane. They bought Genie Plus, but they didn't buy Lightning Lane for Rise of the Resistance. You couldn't book a Lightning Lane, within a few hours, and everything was sold out. But Lightning Lane for Rise was an hour from now. Today, this month, it looks like they're making a choice to go on every ride besides the ones that are in Fantasyland. Oh, how did I almost walk by this? There are members of this group that I've been watching perform for as long as I've been doing this channel. And I know that's not a long time. 10 years is long, but not really long when you consider the life of Disneyland. But I think that's great that, like the guy on the, I don't know his name. I think they have name tags, but I don't know it. But the guy on the drums, I've watched him perform for 10 years. And this guy on the far right, I'm pretty sure I've seen him play with the Straw Hatters. Wow, what fun! What fun! Let's go check out Small World. It's probably not going to be a bargain, but it won't be too bad. I don't imagine. Looks like 30 minutes, and there's when we checked last the Lightning Lane, people weren't using Lightning Lane for Small World, which is a mistake, I think. I would rather you use it here than, let's say, on Indiana Jones. But there's a light crowd there in Lightning Lane and a nearly full standby queue. This is a great opportunity right here. Come to Fantasyland today. That's a joke, but you know what I mean. Like that's that one of the reasons why I like Fantasyland so much as a Magic Key holder is because it is a place that you can go to and get away from when things are super busy. Fantasyland often delivers. The waits are generally not so bad, or at least they're at least normal. You're not going to sit there and get bombarded with an 80 or 90 minute wait on any attraction. And it's a great way to get a lot of action in without going overboard in terms of waits. There's not a Matterhorn, but there's not a single ride that will ever tax you. Plus, it's Fantasyland, man. That's where you go when you want to feel like you're with Walt Disney. Look, and there's the monorail right there. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I see you, monorail. It's out of frame because I want to look at the Nemo Lagoon, but the Matterhorn out of frame, but it is still closed. Scheduled to come back on the 14th, but it brings to mind that I have so far just seen the one attraction close since we started the show, and that was Indiana Jones, and it has since reopened. But so far I have not seen any other attractions here in Disneyland closed, and that bodes well for the effectiveness so far. I mean, it's early, it's only been a week, but it does bode well for the effectiveness of the new cast member attendance policy with respect to cast showing up coming to work. I mean, I'm still firmly on the cast member side that they are treated very poorly by the Disney company, and that I want them to be treated much better. Monorail, okay, monorail. Just want to observe, pay your respect. You see the monorail, you pay your respect. So yeah, I mean, even though I love the cast members and I will always have their back, it is good so far to see that they're here and attractions are being taken care of. So far, it seems that way. It's fluid. My goodness. Okay, Nemo, bazonkers. I don't even know what that wait time is to the board. It says 40. That's kind of ridiculous. You're funny, Nemo. You're a comedian. I think you're hilarious. If that's 40, the opposite of things. I don't know. That's not 40 minutes. It was an hour. That's an hour queue. It's so slow. And it's like this, even if it is 40, it's like the slowest 40 you'll ever spend in your life. Because it takes forever to load those vehicles, man. I'm gonna do a quick drive-by of Autopia. I'm expecting 45 minutes here. That's what I'm expecting. I don't see, oh, it says 20? Okay. It says 20. By the way, I should show you, huh? There it is. It says 20, but there's nobody, and there's nobody here in this part of the standby queue, which is a good sign, but they are using the rotunda, and there's a full queue in the rotunda. So that's probably a temporary solution. Let's walk in there real quick. I'm sorry, it's probably a temporary situation, not solution. That'll, as soon as people see that it's 20 minutes for Autopia, it'll start drawing more guests, and this will back up. It looks like they are sending nothing but standby. I don't even see any Lightning Lane guests at the moment, and they are running all 4 lanes, which definitely helps cycle guests. I have half of mine, but I ain't got that kind of time. This feels kind of roomy compared to some of the other lands, compared to New Orleans Square and Adventureland and Fantasyland. Although it's a much wider space to begin with, but it's not so bad. Just gonna, what the heck? Okay, color me baffled. 45 minutes standby. You can't see it, but I can. 45 minutes for Space Mountain. There's no way that's accurate. There's no way that's correct. I would go up there, but I can see already that there's guests up there along the rail there. I'd have to go all the way up there to see if the extended queue, the interior extended queue, is being used, but my guess is probably not. But 45 minutes just seems so unlikely, considering how packed the park is today. What is happening? I'm just listening, sorry. I'm not speaking right now because I love this loop and I want to hear it. Did everybody go home? Is that what's happening? Did everybody go home? 15-minute standby for Astro Blasters. Minimal Lightning Lane over here on the right. Everybody went home. That looks about standard for the standby queue, but the reason why it's 15 or anything like that is because there's nobody in Lightning Lane, obviously. So this is probably moving quite briskly. I did some recon, by the way, the other day on Astro Orbiter. I'm going to be doing recon on every attraction, you know, finding out what the true wait time is. But I have observed, I'm just going to get share this with you now. I have observed, you know, measured how long it takes to go through like each switchback, the stretch over here, the stretch along the brick wall, and I can say with certainty, give or take 4 minutes, that is a 30-minute wait that we're looking at right here. The great thing about attractions that don't have Lightning Lane is that they're very easy to analyze. It's very easy to say exactly how long, you know, that attraction will take from any given point. like Winnie the Pooh. But I was never worried about Winnie the Pooh anyway. I get in Winnie the Pooh whenever I feel like it. There's never a queue and then I'm like, nah, I'll pass. There's never one. We're gonna pass through to finish in. Okay, I can't do it. We're going to Frontierland. Ooh, we get to say hi to Walt on the way. Let's do that. Let's say hi to Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. The man and the mouse that built Disneyland.
Yeah, get that one pretty. Alright,
Respect. Thank you, Walt. Thank you for this place. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for Frontierland. It's great. Frontierland's great. The hub where we stand is great. I love the hub. I love the hub. I love this walk into Frontierland. And this transition between lands. Going from this happy, festive, turn of the century music to the sounds of the frontier hundreds of years ago. You know what I think I want to do today? We don't normally look into restaurants, but I want to see if there's anybody at all, anybody, waiting, picking up a mobile order at Rancho. And then I want to see how long the standby is for that. They should put wait times. They really should. They should put wait times out in front of restaurants so you know how long you're going to be waiting to get your food. This is actually, well, you know what? Yeah, it's just 3:24 right now, which means that it's not at all the ideal time to be eating, which is actually the ideal time to be eating when you think about it. But no, people don't normally generally eat at 3:24, so there's a short wait right now. That's it right there. But yeah, nobody here picking up a mobile order. They've got some food waiting for guests, question mark? I think that's what those are. Those are waiting for a mobile order pickup. But yeah, this happens a lot when I do State of Disney reports, is that I often am looking at data at a time when it isn't appropriate for eating. Sorry, I'm kind of going in a weird way out of here. But I was just curious. But that's a tip, man. If you want to save some time waiting to eat, go at 3 o'clock. Have lunch at 3 or dinner at 3, whichever works for you. But eat in the my God. Yeah, eat opposite of the typical times. Don't eat at noon. Don't eat at 5. Hi. Hi guys. Bum 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 ba dum bum 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 dum bum ba dum bum 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 dum bum ba da da da.
No, that's all right.
Whoa. By the way, it's 3:30 and we're at Magic Hour. Seasons are changing, Fresh Baked. We're approaching Magic Hour anyway. It's almost here. Seasons are changing. This is good shooting light right here. Normally, or during the middle of summer, it's more like 6 o'clock that you get light like this. Oh, you just said the magic word. I need to get some lemonade. I have to clean the palate. We'll do that next. But I want to take a... Oh, I didn't even notice. Let's go back and look.
All right.
65 minutes. 65, and it is going back there to Rancho. I see the back of the queue over there at Rancho. 65. It's so wild how this today, you never see that. You never see, this is what I was talking about when we saw Space Mountain at 45. You never see a situation where Space is 45 and Big Thunder is 65. You might see Space at 45, but that's because it's not a particularly busy day, perhaps, or something to that effect. But this is wild. Okay, so that's standby that we're looking at. The full queue is the standby queue. The empty open one is Lightning Lane. So it's 65 simply because a bunch of people want to ride. A bunch of people want to go. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Big Thunder's amazing. Top 5 attraction in the park. That's great. But that's wild, man. It's wild.
It's safe enough for us to
Break time, Fresh Baked. Enjoying my second frozen lemonade of the day. I mean, what a day, right? My job today is to eat corn dogs from all over Disneyland and drink frozen lemonades while riding on the Mark Twain. Say hi to some folks over here getting in the queue for Davy Crockett Canoes. There are no limitations to capacity. The calendar is wide open. And let that, by the way, be kind of an indicator that the reservation system is not designed to limit the number of people in the park.
I'll take the comfort of the Mark Twain
there are no
riverboat
limits.
any day.
Okay? There are no limits. The calendar is, for the most part, always open. Except for after January 8th. We'll see. Now, one variable in this conversation is going to be those 2 weeks, the week before Christmas and the week leading up to New Year's Eve. No annual pass holders are in the park. Well, they might be in the park, but they paid their way in. There will be no magic keys in the parks for 2 weeks. Just wrap your head around that. Well, actually, I take that back. There are a few. I know Layton, for example, they didn't renew their key until, or I should say they didn't activate their dream key until very late in the season, so they can still, as a dream key holder, go to the park during Christmas, but that's not a large number of people. I'm going to try to get a ticket for one of those days, probably the first day of that season, to see what it's like. But we'll see. That's going to be a great opportunity to see what impact Magic Keys have on overall attendance in the park. We'll do we'll get a baseline for what the parks are like the day before, and then we'll see what the park is like the day after. That's when we'll do maybe like a before and after type situation like we did before. It's going to be interesting. I predict that the park will not be very crowded. I predict the park will not be very crowded on those days where Magic Keys are not able to come to the park.
I believe he's giving us a sign of peace. That means we're all clear as we head up the Missouri River to the home of the Plains Indians.
I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBake, on Twitter at FreshBakeDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakeDisney. And if you like our show and want to show your support, please consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBake. I don't know if it's out yet. Probably not. But we got some Liz and I spent a whole day in San Bernardino doing a bunch of Halloween stuff, including going to the Fear Farm, which is amazing. Stay tuned for footage of that. That's going to be on Patreon only. There's a link below for that also. But otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another.
He's telling the starboard side is Pirate's Lair at Tom Sawyer Island. Young Tom always said he wanted to be a pirate, and I think I see why. If you're a pirate, you don't need to get up early in the morning and go to school, and you never have to wash your face and hands. All you have to do is just look for treasure all day long. At least that's what Tom Sawyer thought.
This one is perfect. My God, you guys, how wonderful is this? Darn near perfection.